your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Wildfield tonight, where the Dothan Tigers are hosting the Wolverines of Carver of Montgomery. I'm Mick Kirk along with my main man, George Willett. And on the sideline, who do we have? None other than Gavin Thomas. Hello, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good tonight, Mitt. Excited about this game.
Doing well, Mitt. Looking forward to it.
Okay, now, Cliff, you had, not Cliff. Cliff is our statistician tonight. George, you had an opportunity to see Dothan last week in a big victory against Enterprise. What are your thoughts on that game?
I'll tell you, they were just explosive all week or all game long. They, Enterprise is a big rival. They won 47-9, and they had a lot of big plays. Jalen White was the main player, their running back. He's had a great year so far, and he had a really big game last week. But the defense looked good. I know, there's been times this year where they've had a lot of trouble closing games out, but they didn't have that last week. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do in this area matchup tonight.
And Gavin, what do you see as some of the key things Dothan need to do to win tonight?
So definitely what they need to work on, Mitt, is their offense is great at this home stadium. Their defense is what they've got to make sure that they're on their A game tonight. The last time they were in this stadium, they didn't do too hot on defense, and we're looking for a good defensive opportunity tonight.
Okay, I've had the opportunity to see Dothan play all their home games this year, and they've been very impressive at times. They have had a tendency to get a big lead early and then to allow the other team to get back into the game late. So it's going to be a challenge for Dothan. They're playing against Carver Montgomery, who comes in here 4-1. And this really is a big game for the Wolves tonight. So we are getting set for the kickoff, and Dothan's going to be kicking off. I guess Carver elected to receive, and this one's about to start. Dothan has been on a 3-game road trip, and this is the first time they've been home in a month. They went to Park Crossing, and they lost that one. They got behind early, but they were able to come back, and then they limited Park Crossing to only 7 points in the second half. But they can't afford to get behind early tonight, and when you have a deep hole to dig out of it, it's just difficult, George.
I agree. When they play with Wetumpka, they got up big on them, but then late in the second half, Wetumpka came back and tied it up. The same thing with Eufaula, and really turned into a dogfight. And that's the last thing that you want in an area game.
So the kickoff, the ball's taken at the 1-yard line. And he's got some running room, gets it outside and returns the ball to the 30-yard line, and a flag. That return was by number 83, Javon Wilson. We'll see what the flag is. It's against Dothan. Let's see if wow, that was a big.
15 yards for the play.
So Dothan picks up a penalty. So Carver starts in great field position. They'll be starting at their own 45-yard line. The handoff and try to get to the outside, and a good open field tackle that time by number 4 for Dothan, Cam Dawson.
Number 2, Williams.
That was a great play right there by Dawson. First man to the ball, was able to bring him down. There's been a few games we've had this year, Mitt, where, the first guy doesn't make the tackle, so it's nice to see that they're starting that out tonight.
So it's a 2nd and 12, a loss of 2 on the play. They go to the other side, and a great defensive stop again by the Wolves of Dothan. And on that stop was number 5 for Dothan. That was Donald Glenn. Two good starts defensively for the Wolves. So that was a loss of about another 4, so it brings up a 3rd and 16. This is the first drive of the game. Quarterback drops back, he goes deep, and incomplete. And so it will be 3 and out for Carver, who had great starting field position after the penalty and moved the ball from the 30, which was returned out to the 45-yard line. So Dothan did a good job defensively.
Absolutely, that's a great way to start the game off. You know, they come out, get 3 and out, and really force themselves there, you know, 3rd and long, making it an obvious passing down. So great job by the defense.
And a punt, and the ball bounces, and it's going to be down inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. So Dothan will be starting deep in their own territory, their own 17, which hadn't been much of a problem this year for the Wolves.
Give again the Wolves possession.
So it'll be 1st and 10, the quarterback for the Wolves, number 2. And that's Jamal Lane, who's had an outstanding season. In the backfield with him is number 3, Webb. Dothan starts on the 25. And a good run, and it's a 1st down. So it's a 1st down on the first play from scrimmage offensively for the Wolves of Dothan. Lane in the backfield by himself. And he tries to hit Webb on a crossing pattern. It's incomplete. It brings up a 2nd and 10.
It was a good play call right there, though. You know, the slant guy was open. Just the ball was a little too, you know, too far in front.
2nd and 10, the ball at the 36-yard line. Man in motion, Barber in motion. He gives it to Barber. Barber goes around. He gets across the 40, and he fumbles it, and it's picked up by Carver. So Dothan commits a turnover on their first possession, and that's something they've done a pretty good job this year of maintaining possession.
Yeah, but that's not how you want to kick the game off. The defense comes out, does their job. You're getting, you know, a little bit of movement right there whenever you're running the football, and then, you know, unfortunately a costly turnover right there.
That would have been a 1st down.
Yep. Now Carver's, you know, got ball on the other side of the 50.
So Carver will be starting on the Dothan 46. Handoff to number 19, and he's hit as he crossed the 45. Number 19 is Hamilton.
Number 19.
Looks like he's hurt on the play, too.
Number 2,
We apologize. It's really difficult to get these rosters. I see a number 24 on the field, and I don't have a 24 on my roster for Carver. Do you have a? Okay, so we'll just call him by number if we don't have a name. So a gain of 3. It'll bring up a 2nd and 7. The ball's inside the 45. Fake handoff. Quarterback goes, intercepted, almost intercepted. That time right into the hands of Zay Wimberly, and man, he could have got that one back. I know he wished he had pulled that one down.
It was a great play right there, though, dropping back in coverage, not being fooled on the fake handoff. And like you said, Mitt, he wishes he could have that one back. He's going to be thinking about that one later tonight.
3rd and 7 for the Wolverines.
Third down and 7.
They're coached by James Thompson.
Timeout, Wolverines.
Timeout on the field. 9:13 left in the first, and the score is 0-0.
All the great coaching sponsors this year.
3rd and 7. This is a big 3rd down. The Wolves defense need to step it up again. They have produced so far. And the pass is complete inside the 30 to Harris.
That was a great play right there by Carver. Gave their quarterback a lot of time right there in the pocket, and he just delivered a nice pass.
Williams is the quarterback for Carver. Handoff, and he fumbles. And they were able to get back on it, but Carver loses a couple of yards on that play. Any comments, Gavin?
Absolutely, Mitt. Turnovers are going to be a key role in this game, obviously, as we've seen two or three of the balls hit the ground tonight. But one thing to look at is the outside contain on the defensive side of the ball for the Wolverines. Check this play out right here.
Handoff and up the middle, and he gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to bring up 3rd and about 10.
So what I was referring to, Mitt, was just if you see the defensive guys, they've got to keep the outside contained so that they can't get outside of the box. They're keeping everything tight-knit inside. They're stopping that run game, and they're going to need to pass the ball if they're going to win this game.
Like Jason said, he looks, he's got plenty of time, and he's hit! And he tries to get away, but he's not going to get away this time. Great defense that time. That was number 96 for the Tigers, making a big play. Gavin Cruz, and I tell you what, they had him wrapped up, and then they got a little help, and Cruz finished him off.
That was just great pursuit right there by the Wolves. You know, obvious passing down, they just pinned their ears back, and they were able to bring him down right there. Big play again by the defense.
So the defense did a good job because that drive started in Dothan territory.
And 30.
Hey!
Okay, we're waiting for the ball boy. Well, they've already set the ball, so they send him back off the field. This is the punt back deep is Jabri Barber. And he calls for a fair catch, and he takes it at the 18. So Carver has punted both of their possessions. Dothan has had one possession, and they fumbled it, but they will be starting this time on they're going to say the 18-yard line. They're on 18. They started on their own 25, the last possession.
I think right here they just need to get back to the ground game. They were getting good yardage last time.
Jamal Lane is a quarterback in the backfield. With him is number 3. Webb. He hands it off to Webb. Webb finds a hole. He grows across 35 near the 40-yard line. A gain of about 19. That was a good hole they opened up for Webb.
It was, and once he gets to the second level, he's very tough to bring down. He's super quick, and they got 2 other running backs that are like that too. I think they just need to stick with the run here.
1st and 10. from the 38. Quick pass out to number 11 for that's Zay Macon for the Wolves.
Ball here, number 11.
So that was a gain of about
Zay Macon.
8.
He's got
So it brings up a 2nd and 2.
Ray Howard. And
2nd and 2.
15, Joshua.
Yeah, guys, I would say keep running the ball if I'm the Wolves because they are winning in the trenches.
Quick pass out to Barber. He spins, turns, and gets another first down and moves the ball into Wolverine territory. Down to about the 46-yard line.
Stop by number 18 for Hopkins. Picked up enough yards for a
Dothan's moving the
Yeah, yeah.
ball. They give it to Webb. He finds another hole. And he goes down to about the 32. Wow, for another Wolf first down. What are you seeing down there on the sideline, Gavin?
Well, I'm seeing some quick hits. I mean, we're doing some curls, some slants here. Just quick, getting the ball out quick, which is really good. Not letting that defense get enough pressure on the quarterback.
So timeout on the field. 5:40 left in the first. The score is 0-0, Dothan and Carver. So we're set for action. Webb has had a good night tonight. He's already picked up 50 yards, and we're here in the first. We talked about the weapons that the Wolves have.
Yeah, they have a great quarterback, and they got 3 great running backs. Now they've got everybody split out wide.
Uh-oh.
And that was incomplete. He was trying to connect with Zay Macon. So it brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Wolves.
That was a scary pass. But just watch here. They're jumping on these coverages, so they're jumping on these wide receivers. So if I'm the Wolves, I'm a stop and go is going to get them.
2nd and 10. And they hand the ball off, and not much there. White with his first carry of the night. Brings up 3rd and 8. And that time, hesitation and nothing, and so Carver forces Dothan into a 4th down. We'll see if they go for it or if they. That would be a long field goal.
It would.
Yeah. I think they may. Are they going to punt it?
I think they are. Yeah.
They're going to punt it and try to bite Carver up. They had a good drive going to that last first down, and they just weren't able to move the ball from that point forward.
They did. That sack just really stalled the drive right there.
Punt high.
It's a nice punt.
And it goes into the end zone. So Dothan punts on their first full possession, their first possession of the night. They fumbled and turned the ball over to Carver deep in Dothan's territory, but defensively the Wolves stood up and prevented Carver from doing anything, and Carver had to punt. So they will be starting, Carver will be starting at their own 20-yard line. What are your thoughts so far tonight, Gavin?
Well, again, I really think that the Wolves are doing really well on offense when they're getting the ball out quick. They're not letting that defensive pressure get to the quarterback. There at the end of that drive, they were letting the defense get to them. They got to get back to that quick hit offense.
1st and 10 from the 20. Handoff and a hit behind the line again. I tell you, the Dothan defense right now looks very quick.
I was going to say that defensive line has come to play tonight. They're getting a lot of pressure in the backfield right now.
That was a loss of 2.
They've had about 3 tackles for loss and a sack. So
it will be 2nd and 12. Ball on the 18-yard line. Quarterback drops back. He's hit as he throws it. Good adjustment for the reception, but we have a flag. Looked like it's going to come back.
yes, it does.
That was Harris on the reception.
Yep, pass interference on the offense.
Yeah, George, it just looked like he underthrew it there, and when he underthrew it, he had to get back to the ball. When he did that, he shoved the defender out of the way.
I was going to say it looked like a little push-off right there from up here, but I couldn't. You're down there on the field, so.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a nice play for the offense. I mean, that was the only way he was going to get to the ball. But, you know, you do something like that, you can't do that.
Wow. So that will back Carver up inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. So what looked like was going to be a big play turns out to be a big penalty, and it moves them back inside the 10. They go for a long pass again. Almost completed, but incomplete. So it's a 3rd and long. About 3rd and 20. Is it about 20? Where's the ball?
This looks like it's on about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, 3rd and 22. So this is a big 3rd down play for the Wolves. They need to hold Carver here. They're passing every down now. They go deep and incomplete. There were a lot of Wolf jerseys in the vicinity that the pass was thrown. So the Wolves will have to punt again, punt from deep in their own territory.
That's a big stand right there by the defense, because now the Wolverines are going to have to punt out of, they're deep in their own territory. And Dothan's probably going to start their drive with good field position. So
I tell you what, if they get it to Barber at just the right place, he can take it to the house.
You're right.
And they punt from the end zone. It's a short punt, but it gets a good roll. So it's down at about the 49-yard line. So Dothan will be starting on the Carver 49. So the best starting field position of the night for the Wolves, and they've got to come out and attack.
I just think get back to running it. I mean, Carver hasn't shown yet that they can stop it. The only time they did stop it was on a fumble. Last time your drive was stalled because you got sacked on 3rd down. So I think you just give it to your horses. Let them run.
1st and 10 from the 49. White is back in the backfield. They hand it to White, and he picks up about 6. Jalen White. I'll tell you, he's very explosive too. You've seen him too, haven't you, George?
I have. He's one of the quickest running backs I can remember from this area. He's very, very explosive, especially when he gets to the second level. Very tough to bring down.
2nd and 5. And that time Lane is tripped up, and he loses a couple of yards.
That was a good decision right there, though. They ran that little speed option, and he could have flipped it to the running back, but they had 2 guys in the backfield. So a wise move by the quarterback.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do, you know, and that's the thing we talked about with Lane. You know, he hasn't made a whole lot of bad decisions this season. So it's a 3rd and 8. And Lane's going to be sacked. Wow, so Carver defensively have stepped things up in the last couple of drives.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mitt, every time on 3rd down when Dothan has stepped back to pass, Carver has busted through the line right there and got a sack. So, you know, something to watch as the game goes on. What's Dothan going to do to combat that?
So Dothan will be punting. It's a high, not a very long punt. And the ball just, wow, it takes a Carver bounce. So Carver will be starting at the Dothan 44-yard line. At their own 44, excuse me. 18-yard punt. So the offensive for Dothan's got to get going. The defense has spent a lot of time out on the field so far. We have 1:01 left in the first. No score between the Dothan Wolves and the Carver of Montgomery Wolverines. The handoff, and he's hit almost immediately. That's number 19, Hamilton, for a short gain. They're going to give him 2. So it says 2nd and 8. And a quick out. He's got some running room. Boy. And so it's going to be a first down for Carver. A big gain. Down inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. So Carver's having some success throwing the ball, but they've had absolutely no success running the ball. False start. So that will back the ball up 5 yards out to the 34-yard line. Gavin, what have you seen happen here in the last couple of possessions?
Well, it looks like I was talking about losing contain at the beginning of the game, but it looks like they might have lost contain on that last big play for Carver on the outside. But watch that number 9. He's got some quick wheels.
We're going to take a timeout here.
Dothan calls a timeout with 20 seconds left in the first. No score between Carver and Dothan. First and 15 for Carver. We're down to the last 20 seconds of the first. No score. Man in motion. And the quarterback keeps it, and he's hit immediately by a couple of Wolves. You know, that tackle was number 96 for Dothan, Gavin Cruz. We've called his name a couple of times tonight.
He's got a pretty good name, Mitt.
Gavin, yeah. If he's Gavin, it can't be too bad, huh? So we've come to the end of the first, and the score is Carver nothing, Dothan nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter of action after this timeout. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Okay, total yards tonight. Dothan has a total of 59 yards, and Carver only has 15 net yards tonight. So it's been pretty much a defensive battle here so far. 2nd and 15 as we start the second quarter of play. I'm Mick Kirkland along with Gavin Thomas and George Willett bringing you the action tonight as the Carver Wolverines take on the Dothan Wolves.
Ooh.
It fumbles, and Dothan picks the ball up.
No, they're calling it down. The ref got smoked right there, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to call unnecessary
Yeah.
roughness on that one. Yeah, because he picked him up and slammed into the. Yeah.
How's his neck?
Yeah, I think that's what the call is going to be. If he'd have just tackled him.
Honestly, guys, I'm really shocked that he's not hurt.
Yeah, that was a big hit.
Yeah.
From down here, it looked like he might have broke his neck on that play.
Yeah, I think they're going to get him for unnecessary roughness.
No, they are. I saw a play like that happen in the NFL a couple weeks ago, and they threw an unnecessary roughness flag on it. So.
Yeah, George, this is not WWE. If it was, that'd be all right.
Well, you know, DeAndre Hopkins, the wide receiver for the Texans, was the one in the NFL that got the flag thrown on him.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, I guess next time I'll just touch, do two-hand touch on him."
Yeah, I think I saw that interview. That's pretty rough. I would hate to be the one that's getting flipped on their neck.
Yeah.
Now, is that automatic first down?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Ben, I don't think it is because they had more than 15 yards to go.
Right.
I don't think it's like that in high school.
So it's still 2nd and it's 3rd and 8.
Yeah, they're saying it's 3rd down here.
Well, if he hadn't slammed it down, that would have been an outstanding play.
Absolutely.
Give the ball to number 24, and he goes forward for a couple of yards, and he's going to be short of the first down.
And guys, one thing to look out for after a play like that, you got to watch out for chippiness now, because you don't do that and not get repaid.
Yeah. So it's a 4th and 5 for Carver.
It's a big down right here for Dothan.
They need a stop here.
Ooh, and they almost had it.
It depends on, I think he got it. He needed to get inside the 20.
Yeah, I believe he's got the first down. There was that one defender that came around the edge that had the initial shot on him, and he missed. And once he got by that guy, he had a pretty nice hole. So
Carver get a fresh set of downs inside the 20. Ball's at the 18 for Carver from 18 yards out.
That's tough right there. You know, they had them pinned deep, and then that unnecessary roughness penalty that flipped that whole drive.
Yeah, it did.
It was gonna be like 3rd and 20.
Right. He should have just taken him down, and once he picked him up off his feet, that's automatic there.
Yep.
So that wound up costing Dothan 6 points, possibly 7. And it does. So Carver scores with 10:25 left in the second, and the score is Carver 7, Dothan nothing. You were saying something about discipline?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, Mitt. The one thing you've got to look at is discipline. This offense has not done well. They've been sputtering, so the defense has been on the field the most of the night. And when the defense is on the field that long, they're going to have some mistakes. And you've got to keep your discipline when you're in this type of game like this. You've got to. And that one drive, a drive ago, was not discipline. We've got to keep our discipline if we're going to win this game.
So Carver will be kicking off to Dothan, and Dothan's got to get something going. They do a little pooch kick, and it's taken at the 30 and brought across the 40, still alive to about the 42. So Dothan with a good starting field position. And they've got to do something. They got to strike and strike quick, because earlier Dothan stepped out there and they were hitting those holes, getting yards. So maybe they'll go back to Webb. He seemed to have had been just a step faster than the defense for Carver.
I'd like to see them have a nice long drive, give their defense time to rest up.
Lane in at quarterback, and White is the running back, number 6. They give it to White. He hits the hole, and he moves forward for a couple of yards. The hole has been closing up here. Carver's figured out something. So Dothan's going to have to stretch the field is what they're going to have to do. See, right now Carver is just playing the run. C.J. Shackelford into the game, number 5, the big 6'4" receiver. And it's caught by Barber. He's got some running room, and he's knocked out of bounds inside the 35. Big play, and that's what Dothan needed to do.
Yeah, they got it in the hands of their playmaker right there, and he had some space, and we know what Barber can do with some space, and he showed us again.
So a big game for Dothan that moves the ball to the 33-yard line of Carver. Maybe that was a wake-up call. 9:45 left in the first half. Carver's leading Dothan 7-0. Barber in motion. They give it to White. White powers ahead for about 4 to the 30-yard line. Second and 6. They give it to Webb, and he slips. To White, and he slips. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and long for Dothan. They're not having much success up the middle.
They're not. They need to get to the edges. That's where they've been getting the most yardage.
And that's where Dothan's speed really shows up, is on the edge. So Webb is back in, and White leaves the game. They're trying to draw Dothan offside. Screen pass.
Nice play.
And it's to Webb, and
Nice
he's got
play.
open field in front. Touchdown, Dothan.
That was a great call right there, Mitt. I mean, they did the hard count. They saw that they were sending everybody. And they knew the screen was going to work, and it did. Great play. Great play call.
The only thing about it didn't take very long to do it. And we talked about Webb. Webb has had a good game tonight.
He has. He's been the hot hand, so I'm glad that they put him back in.
Well, you want to feed them when they're hot. That drive took 2 minutes.
That's something that is uncommon about previous Dothan teams, is scoring quick. And this team can score really quick.
So Dothan scores, and the score is Dothan 7 and Carver 7. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Okay, Gavin, what did you think of that last drive Dothan put together?
Man, that was a beautiful drive. That is exactly how you draw it up when you're drawing up this play. When you're at practice, you draw it up on a house blitz. Like, that is beautiful. I think George alluded to it. That is exactly how you do it.
So Dothan kicks off. And it goes into the end zone, so Carver will be starting on their own 20-yard line. And if it wasn't for a bad decision by one of the Dothan defensive players, because Dothan defensively has played well tonight, and that personal foul really gave Carver another chance, and they took advantage of that chance. It actually flipped the field, and Carver was able to score from about 18 yards out on a run by number 24. We don't have its name. We apologize for that, but they don't get us the rosters, and and it's hard to get accurate rosters sometimes with these teams. 1st and 10 from the 20, and it's a high snap. And they're down inside the 5.
Yeah, it looks like about the 3-yard line.
So a miscue on the first down backs Carver up to the, what is that, the 2-yard line, Gavin?
Yeah, it's closer to like the 4-yard line.
Okay, 4-yard line.
But this is where the Wolves need to pin their ears back and get a safety.
And don't let them get something over. They thought about going deep, but nothing there out to the 9-yard line. Completed over to number 8. And that's Cobb.
That kind of faked me out a little bit right there. The way he was winding up, I thought he was about to throw it deep.
Yeah. So it's 3rd and, let's see, that's about 22. 3rd and 22. So Dothan can't afford to give up a big play here. They still bringing players on the field. They're not set. Quarterback takes off, and he's going to be dropped at about the 16-yard line. So it brings up a 4th down. So defensively, Dothan, they really came out and did a good job on those 3 plays. So Carver will have to punt. Ball is at the 17-yard line. Back at midfield is Jabri Barber. And I tell you what, if he get it right, he can take it to the house. I said that before because I've seen him do it before. It's a high snap into the end zone. And he managed to get the punt out. That was amazing. That was an amazing play.
It really was.
Effort by the punter. Wow, that could have been 6 points for Dothan.
What a play, guys. I mean, the defense really hesitated there when they saw him kind of miss the catch there. But, wow, what a play by that punter.
That was very athletic, very aware.
So, timeout on the field. With 6:15 left in the first half, the score is Dothan 7, Carver 7. So Dothan will be starting on the Carver 40-yard line. And that time, Lane keeps it, and he can take it.
He's got some wheels. Oh, there's a flag. Dang.
Yeah, that was holding way down the field, I believe. There are a couple of flags.
Lane's got some wheels. That's really the first time I've seen him take off this year.
Oh yeah, he can run.
Personal foul.
We get no home field calls.
Let's see, I'm not sure what happened there, but
No home field calls. No
But-
home field. What did they call that?
It's a personal foul of some sort.
Wow. What?
well, it moves the ball back.
They give it to us away, they give it to us at home. Well, we get no home field.
Well, they're upset down here on the field, Mitt.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
personal
so
foul, illegal blocking.
okay, so it's it'll bring up a first and about 13.
George, have you ever seen an illegal block like that?
No, I was wondering what that call was.
They try to get a quick out to Barber, and he couldn't hang on. So far in the game, before that last play, Dothan had 117 yards of total offense, and the Carver's only 40 yards of total offense. So you can see Dothan is pretty much dominated everywhere but the scoreboard. 2nd and 13. Pass is complete over to number 9, Jaden Former. It's going to be just short of the first down. They needed to get, it's going to be about a yard short. Well, no, they're going to say about
Bringing
2
in
yards
thunder.
short.
We're bringing out thunder,
All
man.
right. Number 23, Ramey in the game. And he fumbles the ball, and I think he covers it back. And that's something I never see him do, but Carver's saying they have it. But no word from the officials. 4th down. So I think Dothan will go for it. 4th and 1.
Might as well.
Hey, you out of field goal range. And I tell you, Ramey will make up for that play.
That's what I was about to say. Give it to Rainey.
He'll make up for it.
Oh, my.
Wow, 2 miscues in a row cost Dothan.
Commentators curse.
Yeah.
We're over here saying they're not going to do it twice in a row.
So that time Lane fumbles the ball after Ramey fumbled the play before, and that's very uncharacteristic of the Wolves, but at least they didn't turn it over. Yes, it was a 12-yard loss on that one. So Carver takes over in good field position on their own 44. We'll see if Carver tries to go deep here on the first down. Hand it off to number 24. Now he's been the one giving Dothan trouble. He really has, and
He's
we
quick,
don't have
too.
his name. He's fast. Do you have a name for him, Cliff? Okay. So they move the ball inside the 25. Carver has it 1st and 10. They started to play before the down marker was actually set. The officials should have held that up until the markers were set. So Carver is starting to play fast. So they have definitely taken advantage of the Dothan miscues. Quarterback keeps it, and he moves forward for a couple of yards, and should be enough for a first down. He needed to get inside the 15, and he did. Quarterback is Cole Williams. 4:24 left in the first half, 7-7, Dothan and Carver. Carver's on the move.
Wide open.
Touchdown, Carver.
That was a good play by Carver right there. Faked the defense out, and the quarterback laid a nice ball in there for the touchdown.
14-yard TD pass from Carver. Complete to Smith. And so the miscue by Dothan just gave Carver an opportunity, and they took advantage of it, and Dothan has not taken advantage of the Carver miscues. Blocked. So that's a good, that could swing the momentum again. So Carver 13 and Dothan with 7. And we have 4:12 left in the first half, and Dothan's got to come out and do something. They had something going that last drive until that 3rd and 4th down. Once they fumbled the ball, it just kind of set them back.
Yeah, anytime they've had, decent drives going, when they turn the ball over or do, the little things like that, it's when they get in a hole. And Carver's been able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, George, it's all about rhythm, especially with this Dothan Wolves team. From what I've seen this year, If they've got rhythm, their offense can work, and then their defense just goes in on top of that, supports the offense. But whenever they don't have a rhythm and they're shooting themselves in the foot with penalties and with dumb mistakes, then they have issues.
So Dothan's got to come right back and strike and try to put some points on the board and maybe take the lead by halftime. And I would be prepared for an onside kick. But they decide to kick it deep, and it goes out of bounds, so we'll come out to the 35. First and 10 from the 35. Any comments, Gavin? I guess not. George, anything?
Well, I mean, it's been a really good game. Carver's done what they've needed to do. Dothan stepped up when they've needed to. Dothan's just made a little bit more mental mistakes than Carver has, and that's why they're a little bit in a hole right now. So, but I don't think this is nothing Dothan can overcome. They have a very explosive offense, so I think they're okay.
So that were delay a game against Dothan, penalty decline. Okay, so it's first and 10 from the 35, Dothan. So Dothan has 65 yards to go. Pass is short. That one was intended for number 9, Jaden Foreman. He was wide open. That time Lane missed, and that's something he rarely does.
Yeah, and, I think the receivers he needs to go back to the ball right there. The ball was short, but he didn't make any movement to go back and try to catch it. So
that's a very good point, George. Second and 10. Give the ball to Webb, and he's running, man. He's still going. Webb is having an outstanding night. He moves the ball down to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, they're having a really hard time stopping Webb tonight. He's been very explosive.
That was a gain of 17. So the ball's at the 48-yard line. First and 10, Wolves. 3:57 left in the first half. They give it to Webb again, and he weaves his way through for about 3. The ref said he was down.
And now we got a personal foul coming against somebody. Some chippiness going on down there.
Yeah, George, I think you're going to have an offset penalty here, I think, on both squads. You get down there in those piles, George, and things start happening.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're pointing toward Carver. So they call personal fouls on both offsetting penalties. So it will be second down. 2nd and 9. .331 left in the half. Dothan trailing 13-7. Webb, man, boy, he's still on his feet. Webb takes it, and he gets the face mask on top of it. Wow, he just ripped off about, almost 20 and a face mask.
And I'll tell you, that was a great run right there by him because he didn't necessarily have a hole. He was just very patient. just waited till he could weave on through there and then had a nice big gain, and now he's going to get 15 more yards too.
Right, he did a good job of following his blockers on that.
Absolutely.
So Dothan has the ball at the 21-yard line. I tell you what, I think I'll keep feeding Webb, but they brought White back in. Pitch it to White. He cuts back to the middle, and he's got some running room. He could take it to the house. White takes it in for the touchdown.
He's explosive, Mitt.
From 21 yards out.
He hits that hole, and he's gone.
We talked, we've been talking all season about the speed that Dothan has. They have some speed in many positions.
Absolutely. Quarterback can run. They got two good running backs and Jabri Barber. I mean, he's really a utility guy. He can run and catch. So.
Also, guys, we've been talking all night about them trying to get on the edge, getting on the outside. That time they were able to get a flip to the outside. And you look at that. I mean, you get somebody in space like that fast, you're going to get some good things happening.
Extra point is good. So Dothan goes up 14-13 with 3 minutes left, and that drive took a total of, a minute 12. A minute 12 is what Carver scored with 4:12, and Dothan scored with 3 minutes left. So, that was we talk about how fast they can strike, and they just showed us how.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know.
For the first time, by a score of 14-13. And we have just 3 minutes left in the half, and we'll see. What do you expect Dothan to come out and do? They've got to come out and make some stops defensively and not make any mental mistakes.
Yeah, and I think, the first couple of drives of the game, they did a really good job of shutting the run down. But when Carver has scored, they've had those big runs. So I think what Dothan just needs to get back to doing is just stopping the run, forcing Carver into throwing downs, and then pin their ears back and try to sack the quarterback like they've been doing.
And they've got to stop. Number 24 has been the most explosive player for Carver tonight in the run game. Ball's taken at the 6. And he's got some running room going to the outside, and he's going to be dropped at about the 43, but we have a flag back near the 20. So that one will probably be coming back. We'll see what the call is.
He's in the area holding.
And they're pointing toward Carver, so that one's coming back.
Chop block.
So after a good return, the ball is returning back to inside the, back down to the 10-yard line. So Dothan, if the defense can step up here and get Dothan the ball back and give them another scoring opportunity, get some momentum going into the second half. Quarterback rolls out. He goes the opposite direction. He's got a man open, and it's complete. Wow.
What a catch. What a
to
catch.
the 45. That was over a 50-yard pass. Wow. That's something you can't afford to let happen.
Not at all.
You have them exactly where you want them defensively, and you give up a big play like that. They go deep, and incomplete. A good defensive play that time by number 17 for the Wolves. That's Elijah Swain. Because if that would have been caught, could have done some more damage. 2nd and 10. 2:33 left in the first half. The Wolves leading the Wolverines. That was a flag on that play. Yeah. So they backed up 5 yards. So it'll be 1st and 15. And a good and a sack. That time by number 3, T.J. Lewis for the Wolves.
Dothan's doing a great job of getting pressure on the quarterback. They had that one big play just a few minutes ago, but for the most part, that D-line's getting a lot of good pressure.
Second and 16. Ball back on the Carver side of the field. Drops back and is complete, and he's hit immediately. And that pass was complete over to number 8, Cobb. It's a 3rd and about 4. 3rd and 4. This is definitely 4-down territory. 1:27 left in the half. Quarterback rolls out and overthrows his intended receiver, Harris. That was Cole Williams is the quarterback. So it brings up a 4th and 4.
4th down and 4.
So this is a big 4th down play. Dothan needs to make a big stop here. I think they're going to probably go long.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to go to the end zone.
I'm not sure how many timeouts. I guess they got 1 timeout. They got 3 timeouts. I don't know. They might run it here. You called it, Mitt. Well, they didn't go deep, but
they get the 1st down and a flag, probably a face mask.
I don't know. That last guy that came in had his head lowered, so I don't know if they're going to call targeting here or not. I saw him get cracked in the helmet, so.
So we'll see what the call is. Face mask.
Yeah.
And that will move Carver in the red zone. Wow, that's something Dothan didn't need to do. This drive started on the Carver, their own 10-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 from the 14. Dothan need a big play right here. And number 19 is stopped inside the 10. That's Hamilton. He picks up about 4. 2nd and 6. They give it to number 24, and he's got running room. And we talked about him all night. They had the strong side, and they sent him to the weak side, and he just takes it in from about 9 yards out. That was a 90-yard drive.
Man, that's tough. That is tough. Talk about a momentum swing right there at the end of the half.
And that was with 25 seconds left. So they put together that drive in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Extra point is good. So Carver goes up 20-14. As we wind down the end of the first half. Wow, it's a couple of miscues that really Dothan, the penalties really hurt Dothan defensively on that drive.
They did. I mean, well, it didn't help the first play. They go 50 yards, so You know, and then you have that face mask penalty right there. They had a big play on 4th down. It's just nothing went right there for Dothan on that drive.
So Carver will be kicking off, and I guarantee they'll try to keep it away from Barber. Hey, 25 seconds. Hey, they scored. What did I say a while ago, and how many?
Like a minute 12.
Minute 12, so hey, anything can happen. You know, Dothan has pretty much dominated this game, but they have given Carver has been able to take advantage of the Dothan miscues and put some points on the board and take the lead. The ball is picked up by Barber. He's got some running room. Barber can't take it. He needs a block. He cuts back to the inside. Barber is going to take it to the house. Jabri Barber takes it to the house. What did I just say?
What a play.
That
what
took
a play.
15 seconds. Whoa, what a play. Where did he pick that ball up at? About
25 or 30.
About 25 or 30. So
yeah.
That was about 75 yards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he made a couple nice moves right there, too. He cut back, made that guy have to turn his hips. Couldn't do it. Man, talk about explosion right there. That kid's electric.
He's fast, guys, but hey, tell me this, George. How many times have you seen someone drop the ball on a punt or a kickoff and then take it back to the house?
They go for the 2-point conversion and no good.
Not many.
But we have a flag.
Yeah, I think he picked the ball up as he snapped it.
Okay.
Offsides.
Oh, okay.
Offside, so Dothan will get another chance. I told you, I had said a couple of times, I said if they kick it at Barber at the right time and right place, he'll take it to the house.
Mitt the Wit strikes again. You call it now. I tell you, you call it.
Hey, I know what he can do, and I've seen seen him do it before.
You're right.
Dothan need to call a timeout. Timeout. He's calling a timeout. He's been trying to call a timeout for 15 seconds.
He was calling it so much, the fans were calling it too, and that dude still wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I was down here. I almost called the timeout myself.
So what do you think of that return there, Gavin?
Well, yeah, I was talking about it earlier. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen either a punt return or a kickoff return where the fielder drops the ball and then runs the ball back. And really, the only thing I can think of is the players that are coming after the fielder. It makes things, it's just a little crazy for those people that can't find the ball. And then at that point, I mean, you saw the wheels. He was gone.
You know, I've seen Jabri Barber. That guy is fast as lightning.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he man, I don't think, did anybody touch him?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So Dothan has decided to go for the extra point, to kick the extra point instead of going for 2. Which I think is a good move. Also, 2 points don't make much difference versus 1. I think offside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this has been a pretty exciting game.
Well, this has been a great first half.
A good crowd tonight. Yep. The home side is just about full. Here's the extra point attempt. Up, and it's good. So Dothan goes up 21-20. Wow. Carver had taken the lead with 25 seconds left. They took a 20-14 lead, and on the kickoff, They kick it to the wrong man, Jabri Barber, and he takes it 75 yards for the touchdown. And that took, let's see how long that took. That took 15 seconds. 15 seconds. When they kicked it off, it was at 25, and it was 10 when he took it into the end zone.
You know, George, you were talking about, you never seen Dothan score that fast. Me neither now. That was the fastest I've ever seen Dothan score.
So it's Dothan need to try to get out of here at halftime, not give up a big play on a return, and give Carver a scoring opportunity. It's always good to take that momentum into halftime. Ball is taken at the 20. He's got some room on it. Missed tackle, but that's it. So we've come to halftime, and the score is Dothan 21, Carver 20. We'll be back with halftime activities after this timeout. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Number 22, Devian.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Drum majors Adrian Lewis and Hunter Howell. Is your band ready to perform? And now, the Dothan High School Pride of the Wolfpack presents A Pirate's Revenge.
It is by order of the King of England. The Royal Navy came and destroyed what we called home. But they will pay. It's a pirate's life for me now. And I live for one thing and one thing only.
The bus instructor is Marcus Jordan. Auxiliary instructors are
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Hello and welcome back to Riverview Stadium, where the Carver Wolverines are playing the Dothan Wolves. I'm Mick Kirkland along with George Willett and Gavin Thomas. And guys, that first half was a very exciting half.
Yeah, I agree, Mitt. It was 21-20 after the first half. It ended on a high note too. Carver marched down and scored, and then Dothan ran a kickback, got all the momentum back. So I'm really excited to see what the second half is going to be like.
Dothan takes the ball out to the 34. And just kind of quickly talking about total yards, Dothan had a total of 174 yards, 134 for Carver. And Dothan was 5 of 9 passing, averaging 11.8 per pass, and 7 of 12 for Carver, 8.3 yards per carry per pass. So Dothan starting on their own 34. The highlight of that first half, Dothan scored with 10 seconds left on a 80-yard kickoff return by Jabri Barber. Lane keeps it. He gets across the 40, cuts back to the inside, and he's taken down just across the 50. A gain of about 17 on first down. Gavin, you had something to say about the defense in the first half?
Yeah, just one thing we need to look at in the first half, and in the intro I talked about the defense being something that we definitely need to work on, the Wolves. And they did an okay job with shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, but they're playing a soft zone. And so what Carver's doing is they're just staying in that zone, they're sitting down in that soft zone, and they're just kind of eating up the field as they go along. So look for an adjustment here from the Wolves when we get back on defense. And let's see if we play a little bit more man instead of that soft zone.
That was a gain of about 7. That was Lane. And I tell you what, he's run the first 2. I tell you what they're doing. They're getting Lane involved in the run game. Then they're going to hit Webb, and he's going to rip it to the end zone.
That's right.
See, now they got to look out for both of them up. False start on Dothan. So that will make it 2nd and about 8. Carver took the lead. Dothan trailed, but they took a 14-13 lead. Then Carver came back and it was a 20-14 lead. Webb tries to cut to the outside, and he's dropped after a short gain. So it's a 3rd down and about 7. I'll say 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Lane. He throws it away. He had a man open.
Oh, there's a late flag, too. I think they hit him out of bounds.
Yeah, that's going to be a late hit.
Flag on the far side of the field.
So that will keep the drive alive. Intentional grounding.
Oh, okay. They call it against Dothan.
Well, he was outside. There was a receiver open that area.
Yeah.
Really, number 11 was over in that area.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there because one of the Carver players was really upset. He thought he had hit him out of bounds.
Well, and the thing is, okay, so Dothan has the punt. We'll move on. Got a good punt. And it's going to be down at about the 11. But if you remember, Carver put together a 90-yard drive. Their last score was a 90-yard drive. It started on the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I was going to say the first play they threw it 50 yards and completed it, so Dothan doesn't need to let that happen again.
Right. So Dothan came out and a penalty got her behind the chains, and they had to punt the ball. That was a 44-yard punt. So Carver starts on their own 12-yard line. You were talking earlier, Gavin, about the zone Dothan was playing in. Carver was just throwing the ball to the zone, the open spot in the zone. And a good run that time. Number 19 for Carver. He's been pretty active tonight. Hamilton. So it's a 2nd and 2 for Carver. Hamilton again. And he fumbles.
Yep.
And I think he got back on it. Dothan's pointing toward. I think Carver retained possession.
They did.
So it's a first down for Carver. The ball out to the 30-yard line. And it's a high snap. Wow. And so that moves the ball back inside the 20. So 2 fumbles in a row.
That's big for Dothan.
Yeah, but we've got to take advantage of it. We saw Carver take advantage of the Dothan miscues in the first half, so Dothan's got to take advantage of the Carver miscues.
Agreed.
So it'll be 2nd and 21. False start on Carver. They tried to draw Dothan off, and they moved.
I was going to say it backfired.
So they'll move back 5 more yards. 2nd and 26. They've got to get to the 40-yard line. 40-yard line in order to get a first down. Quarterback drops back. He's being chased. Ooh. And that should be intentional grounding. It is a safety.
That's going to be a safety, Mitt. And his knee was down when he got tackled also.
So it's a safety. So
that's big.
So that gives Dothan a 23 to 20 lead.
It was a big-time play for that defense. Like we talked about, they had to do something coming out, and they did. They showed up.
Yes, that was a big play, and that penalty really helped back Carver up, and Dothan took advantage of it and forced him down in the end zone. He tried to throw the ball out of the end zone. They called him down, so intentional grounding is what they call, right? So that automatically became a safety. So, all right, it's time for Dothan to put the foot on the accelerator now.
Yeah, a touchdown this drive would be very big.
So Carver will have to kick, and Dothan needs to take advantage right now. You know, we saw them at the Enterprise game last week where they the score was like
47 to 9.
Yeah, it was like 19. What was it? 13 to 3 at halftime, and the final score was 47 to 9. So you know they're very capable of putting some points on the board. I think is that Barber? No, Barber's not back deep.
I think that's
It's
White.
White. Yeah, they don't want Barber back there.
No, they don't.
Yeah, he's on the 40 on the opposite side of the field. Ball goes to White. He picks it up at the 25, and he's going to be down at the 30. So Dothan will be starting on 30, and Carver did a good job of flipping the field. There's a penalty flag back at the 20, so I'm not sure. Okay, no, that was a T. I thought it was a penalty flag, but it was a T. So Dothan start at their own 30-yard line. First and 10. Lane is the quarterback in the backfield with him. It's number 6, White. Dothan calls a timeout. So with 7:59 left in the third, the score is Dothan 23 and Carver 20. First and 10 for the Wolves. Ball at the 30-yard line. Lane pitches it to White.
Ooh, big block right there.
And nothing there. And that's yeah, I think that was a low hit, so that's a flag flew in there. They're pointing toward Carver. The officials are. So that will give Dothan 15 yards and a first down. First and 10 from the 42. Dothan needs to take advantage. They give it to White. He breaks a tackle and he runs across the 50 down to about the 47-yard line. First down, Dothan.
Yeah, they just need to keep their foot on the pedal right now and just try to eat as much clock as possible, have a nice drive, and score a touchdown here.
You know, if they get this running game going, it's going to give them some opportunities to try to find those big receivers of Dothan. They go White. He bounces off a couple of players, but it looked like it's going to come back.
Oh, is there a flag down? Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the area of holding.
Yeah, it's holding. So Dothan has committed a lot of penalties tonight. So that was a good run for nothing. So the ball is moved back to the 42-yard line. The first and 20.
Yeah, man, when Dothan has been able to stay ahead of the chains and ahead of the game, they've done a lot better job than when they've gotten behind.
They've come out this half and not playing with the intensity I was expecting, because they definitely had the momentum. Lane keeps it. He cuts back, cuts it outside, and he's taken out of bounds at about the 48-yard line.
That's a good pickup there on first down.
Yeah, he picked up about 9.
There's a nice block right there by the left tackle, too. He took his man all the way to the ground. Or a pancake block, as we like to say.
They give it to White. He cuts through the middle. He spins and turns, and he stops shy of the 40.
That's right, George. They're going to be taking him to IHOP tonight.
What did Jimbo say? Covered, smothered, and
chunk.
Lane keeps it. He's got a block in front of him. He breaks the tackle, and he stays on his feet and takes it to the 10.
That's a tough run right there. Nice run by that young man.
Jamal Lane. Well, that's what we've been expecting to see from Dothan. Carver wants a timeout, so with 6:26 left in the third, the score is Dothan 23, Carver 20. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. First and 10. Well, first and goal. Lane. He gives it to White. He cuts through the middle. He takes it in for the touchdown. 11-yard touchdown by Jalen White.
That was a good drive right there by Dothan. Really nice drive.
It was. And it's exactly what they needed. And White he's warmed up here lately. He got off to a slow start, but he's starting to rack up some yards now. He has 66 yards.
That's right, guys. It was definitely an interesting drive, but you can definitely tell Smitty Grider went out in halftime and did his best Nick Saban and said, run the ball.
Okay, so Dothan scores with 6:21 left in the third. They lead it 30-20. That drive took was only a minute 56 seconds. So we talk about how Dothan can score and score quickly. Ball is taken at the 10. Good open field tackle. Well, he's not tackled yet.
Oh, there's a flag down.
We'll see what the call is. Did you see anything, Gavin?
Yeah, I see the flag over there on the other side, but I'm not over there, so I don't have that good of eyesight.
Oh man, you're young. You have good eyes. it's us old people up in the booth.
Ooh, personal foul, face mask.
Face mask.
Uh-oh.
Boy, that's what's been killing Dothan. These personal.
It's actually,
offset.
offsetting.
Yeah.
Offsetting penalties. Okay.
That helps.
All right. So Carver will be starting
against both teams
at the 18. They hand the ball off. 24, and I tell you what, he can run that ball.
He can. I mean, Dothan did a great job in the first half of stuffing the run, but whenever Carver started giving him the football, they really started busting the running game open.
They give it to him again. That time a good open field tackle. That time by number 4, Cam Dawson. Excuse me, that was Cam Dawson. Yeah, exactly.
That was a great play right there. Good open field tackle.
A loss of a yard, so it brings up a 2nd and 11. They give it to him again. And he's taken down in the backfield again. That was number 23 for Dothan, Deshaun Robinson. Deshaun Robinson. They have a lot of double numbers for players. We have 2 number 23, so it's 39. Great defensive play that time by number 17, Elijah Swain. We've seen him do that a couple of times tonight.
That was a good defensive stand right there by Dothan. Score the touchdown, come out, get a 3 and out. That's what you want to do.
So, like I said, Swain, he's knocked down a couple of them tonight.
That's exactly right, guys. That reminds me of the NCAA, which I really want really bad to come back. But the play is he simply batted the ball away.
and they fumbled it, and it's a short kick and punt, and it's going to bounce on the Dothan side.
That's not good, Mitt. We got an injured player, and it's going to be roughing the kicker.
Oh, goodness, come on. But he had missed the thing. He had missed the ball.
That's what Coach Grider's saying.
Yeah, it was an open season. If he missed the ball and it drops like that, it's anybody's ball. Am I correct?
You're correct, though. But the thing is we do not have instant replay here, so you're not going to be able to see if he really got the ball or not. If he tipped the ball, then no, there would not be a penalty at all. But the referee did not see him tip the ball clearly, and now it's going to be roughing the
But
kicker.
I'm saying, didn't he drop the snap? Did he drop the ball? He fumbled it.
He fumbled the ball, but then he got possession of the ball and kicked it just like he did in the end zone earlier in the half. But because he did not see him tip that ball, that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, and it moves instead of a 4th down and them having to punt, now they're up near midfield.
That's a tough call right there against Dothan.
That really is, and I tell you what, when you fumble the ball like that, it's open. It's open.
First and 10.
I'm telling you, if you had a replay and you rewound that, you would see that he definitely got a hold of that ball. You just don't have that in the high school level.
And the Wolves make a big stop there, gain of 1
Carry is up by number 17, Elijah Swain.
by Williams.
Ooh, it's getting chippy down there.
So it's a 2nd and 9. Dothan doing a lot of substituting. Quarterback's got all day. He's got a man open. Complete. And that's the
And
thing.
then it's coming back. It's holding on
Holding.
Carver.
Holding. Whoa.
Received by number 1.
Well, that one's coming back, baby.
First down. There's a flag on the play.
But let me tell you, man, I am extremely impressed with those wide receivers of Carver, the way that they can just adjust to the ball when it's in the air. We've seen that at least 4 or 5 times now.
Right, we have, and you know what? The last game we saw Dothan play here at home, their wide receivers were doing the same thing, but they are not going after the ball tonight. We saw a pass earlier, which if the receiver had been a little more aggressive, he could have made the play.
Right.
Well, they're doing a good job of backing off and not getting an interference penalty, and I'm okay with that. But at some point, you got to be aggressive and get to the ball.
Hey, an interference penalty is better than letting them get 50 yards, okay? Because it's not in spite of the foul in high school. Holding. Must have been holding behind the line of scrimmage.
It was.
Yeah, but it must have been behind. Yeah, spot of the foul. So instead of being a big gain, it's 2nd and 26.
I'll tell you, if I'm Dothan, I'm watching for that play again because that's been their most successful play tonight.
It has been. He goes for it again. He comes down out of bounds. Yep. Wow. George, you called that one.
I mean,
why wouldn't you?
I mean, really. Those receivers are getting great separation right there, and they're able to come down with the ball like that.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, and I was also going to say, when's the last time we saw 2nd and 26?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's a 3rd and 26. So Dothan's got I would definitely be, they need to make sure they don't let those receivers just run wide open like that. And get to the quarterback, put some pressure on him. He had all day that time. They're going to go. And he's going to be short. Good run by the quarterback. He made up about 16 of those 26 yards, but he's still going to be about 10 yards short of the first down. So it brings up a 4th down.
And that was a great job. You just said, the defense needed to get pressure on the quarterback. They did. They flushed him from the pocket right there. And, he got a nice game, but he had 26 yards to go, and they're 9 short. So good stand there by Dothan after some adversity.
Jabri Barber back deep for Dothan. And they telling Dothan to be to really look for the onside. Oh, okay, they're punting. Don't jump offside, and don't touch the punter. Ball's going to go. It's going to die at about the 20. Whew, boy, that was scary. that series there, it could have turned out a whole different way, George.
It really could have. I'm telling you, they like to go deep. It's been very successful tonight, and I mean, even the second time they went deep after the holding call, he caught the ball. He was just out of bounds. So Dothan's just got to start shading the guy over that way.
So Dothan's got to come out and just try to put some more points on the board. They've been pretty aggressive here in the second half. Lane has done a really good job of running. First and 10 from the 20. That time Carver was ready, and they dropped Barber in the backfield. They read that one like a book.
Yeah.
Page 1, table of contents.
I think you just need to go with what you've been doing.
Right.
Let your running backs go up the middle, but regardless if it's Barber, regardless if it's Webb, or if it's White. Some run in between the tackles like they have been. It's been very successful tonight. I'll tell you another thing that we haven't seen since the first quarter is a screen pass, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dothan doesn't go back to that.
Well, back in. There's a screen pass, and Webb catches it, and
You caught it, George.
after it was tipped. Yeah, George called it, but it didn't work out very well.
It didn't.
George.
It didn't that time, no.
I think Carver was expecting that.
They were thinking the same thing I was.
3rd and about 20. So the main thing here is just don't make a big mistake.
Let Lane throw it deep. I saw last week he can do it. Might as well try it.
Yeah, he can. And those plays are not working.
No.
Back out to the 10. No, all those plays blew up on them. All 3.
That wasn't Dothan. That wasn't Dothan's best offensive play calling all night.
No, so it was 3 and out for the Wolves.
They're
1:44
pinned deep
left. Yeah, go ahead, George.
I was going to say they're just pinned deep here, so you got to be careful. You backed yourself up. That screen pass didn't work out, and you ran a screen. Third down was another screen pass. So Carver didn't send nobody. So
a good punt, a great punt. Boy, he flipped the field on that one.
He did. That was a big punt right there. Dothan's defense has got to come up with another stop.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Carver probably try to do the same thing again.
Yep.
But like I said, take a pass interference call. That was a 57-yard punt. And the punter for Dothan is, who's the punter? So Carver starts on their own 34. Number 24 breaks a couple of tackles. But
Nice
boy,
hit.
he's hit hard by number 17 again. Elijah Swain has played a good game tonight. He's made some big plays. It was a gain of 8, but it could have been a whole lot more if Swain hadn't made the play. 2nd and 2. Fumble. And Carver recovers. Brings up a 3rd and short. Carver, but they made a lot of miscues, but they regained possession, I think, every time. Have they lost a fumble?
I don't think they have.
I don't think they have either.
Even when they fumbled it in the end zone on a punt, they still got the punt off.
Yeah, 3 fumbles, and they haven't lost a fumble. That's going to be close. Depends on the spot.
Looks like, from the line judge, it looks like a short.
They'll go for it on 4th if it is short. They're going to measure. Yeah, they're going to have to measure for that one. From up here, it looks mighty close.
Yeah.
And they'll go for it on 4th down.
You think so, Mitt?
Yeah, I do. For that short of a distance, I think they will.
And they are down 10.
We're down to 8 seconds left in the 3rd. Dothan's up 30-20, and this has been one of Dothan's lowest scoring games all season.
Sure has. Well, they got it.
It's a first down by the nose of the football. 1st and 10 from the 44. This drive started on the 34-yard line. Dothan needs to come up with a big defensive play here. Tell you, number 24 has been ripping some yards tonight. And that's the end of the 3rd. So at the end of 3, the score is Dothan 30, Carver 20. We'll be back with more action after this timeout. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Your number 1 source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Hello and welcome back to Riphew Stadium, where the Dothan Wolves are hosting the Carver Wolverines. I'm Rick Kirk along with George Willard and Gavin Thomas bringing you the action tonight. And I tell you, number 24, he's been a bruiser tonight. And Dothan's leading 30-20. What are your guys' thoughts so far in the game?
Well, it's just been a really good game so far. You know, both teams have had their fair share of mistakes, but Dothan's defense has really knuckled down here. They've let up some big plays, but they've had some things go their way, and their offense has really controlled the running game. So, you know, been a good performance by them so far.
They give it to number 24, and he's hit, and he stopped short of the first down.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on that, you know, Dothan's done a really good job, even though the penalties and the mistakes, they've done a really good job. One thing, though, is Carver's, I'm really impressed with Carver's offensive line. They're getting a push up front. At the beginning of this game, Dothan was winning up front on defense and offense. And now Carver is pushing the line, and I think it might get interesting, guys.
So it's a 3rd and 1 for Carver.
Nice play.
And a big play. That
Nice
time,
play.
number 23 for Dothan. That was Deshaun Robertson on the stop. And they lose yards on the play. It would have been 4th and short, but now it's 4th and long. So a good defensive play that time by the Wolves.
Yeah, man, I think that made their mind up. I think they might have gone for it if they had gotten any yardage there, but I think that made their mind up.
So Dothan calls timeout with 10:28 left in the 4th, 30-20, Dothan. 4th down. I'll tell you, I'm always weary, so, you know, they may do a fake. I don't know. Just make sure you don't hit the punter. The ball goes out at the 24-yard line, so Dothan will be starting on their own 24-yard line. And they've got to do better than their last possession. They just kind of squandered that one.
Yeah, they did, and, you know, if they can get a good drive here, and score a touchdown, I mean, the game will be pretty much over. They're in the driver's seat right now, but they really need to get some points right here to take this game over.
They need to go back to what they were doing earlier. You know, last possession they tried to do some things, mix them up, and it just didn't work. So go back to what's working for you.
That's right. And, I mean, you want the clock on your side, too. So running the ball drains the clock, so that's what you want to do.
Hey, feed it to Webb. First half, Webb had 85. Boy, Webb had 85 rushing yards in the first half. You had another 30 receiving. So, you know, go back to what you were doing. And Webb has been explosive tonight, and White got loose too.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, right there they run a slant play. And, I mean, it worked, but the receiver didn't catch the ball, and now the clock stopped. So, you know, give it, like we've been talking about, give it to your running backs.
2nd and 10. They give it to Webb, and he goes up to about the 29.
That'll be about 3rd and 6 here.
Yeah, he picks up about 4. So 3rd and 6. This is a big play for Dothan. They need to keep this drive alive. They need a first down.
Nice play. Ooh, he slid right there. Throw the flag.
Yeah, and that's first down run by Lane. He saw an open lane, and Lane took the lane and got the first down. So Dothan needed that first down, George.
Yeah, they really did. And that was a good, good awareness by Lane right there. Not an open receiver. The pocket's collapsing on him, so he takes off and picks up the first down. And took a lick at the end of it, so.
Webb fights his way through. Looked like he was going to lose yards, and he winds up picking up almost 4. Yeah, he does pick up 4 out to the 40-yard line. Where they're going to mark it at the 39. So we give him 3. 2nd and 7. 8:54 left in the 4th. Lane gives it to Webb. He breaks. He could take it. He is going to take it to the house. What did we say about Webb?
Good
gracious. That was a 61-yard TD run by Webb.
Let him eat. That was a heck of a play right there.
We talked about how good of a game that Webb, I'm going to take great game Webb has had tonight.
Yeah.
He had 85 rushing yards in the first half, and he just added 61 more yards to that.
And, they didn't do anything fancy right there. They got back to what we were talking about. They were running in between the tackles, and what happens, they open up a big lane for Webb, and he takes it to the house.
Extra point is good. So with 8:36 left in the 4th, Dothan goes up by a score of 37-20. Webb with 150 yards rushing tonight. Wow, he's had an outstanding game tonight.
Definitely the player of the game.
Yes. So Dothan goes up by 17 with 8:36 left in the 4th. So they've got to just play defense like they did their last series.
Yeah, it's a 3-possession game, so.
Ball's taken at the 16. And there's a flag. That one's coming back. There's a flag down near the 33-yard line. On the far side of the field. Gavin, what are your thoughts on that last drive?
Man, I thought it was a great drive. I hear you guys talking about Webb, and man, he's running great. But I can't go without giving some love to the offensive line. That offensive line is doing work, and Webb wouldn't be doing what he's doing without that offensive line.
And they have done an outstanding job.
You're right. They really have.
But, you know, Dothan kind of got away from what was working for them the previous possession, but they went back to what was working for them, and that time a big 61-yard touchdown run by Webb to put Dothan up by 17.
Yeah, man, you're exactly right. For the rest of this game, I wouldn't be surprised if they just run the ball.
Yeah, and you're going to see Carver try to stretch the field out. So Carver will be starting on their own 20.
But also, Mitt, the defense has got to not get beat, because we have seen these receivers blow by these defensive backs all night long.
1st and 10. Williams drops back. Whoa, but a good defensive play. That time, stride for stride, was number 11, Zay Macon. Excuse me, that was Jalen Faison.
Yeah, that was a good play right there. He was running with him, and you know, that time he turned and he looked, he played the ball and got a hand on it. So
2nd down and 10.
Guys, I've seen some good quarterbacks, but that might be the best long ball quarterback that I've seen in a long time. He has not missed.
No, he's putting it right there where his receivers are getting to it.
They go long again, and incomplete. So it brings up a 3rd and 10. So this is a pivotal down for the Wolves. If they can stop Carver here and get the ball back, quarterback being chased out of the pocket, and it's overthrown. But that you cannot let him just sit in the pocket. So that time they forced Williams out of the pocket, and he threw the ball high, and it brings up a 4th down. And we've seen tonight, George, when Williams has time, he can connect.
Oh, absolutely. And he's got the receivers for it, too. I mean, he's got a good core of receivers.
So back deep for Dothan. It's number 1, Jabri Barber. He had a 80-yard return earlier for a touchdown, a kickoff return. Boy, and that was a muffed kick. It lands on the 34-yard line of Dothan. So Dothan has a short field. I would go back to what I did last possession. Put the ball in the hand of Webb.
That's right. I mean, you're in the driver's seat right now. You don't want to throw the ball. Just run it. That's all you got to do is just run it.
So Dothan starts on the Carver 34-yard line.
Something to mention, guys, we have set the Carver offense down. They have not scored this half.
It's true. It's a good point, Gavin.
1st and 10. Lane in the backfield by himself. And he's been chased out of the pocket. And he throws it away. So it brings up a 2nd down. I would have thought they would have come out running that time and try to use some clock and give it to Webb, because he's been unstoppable.
I mean, you're up 17. You don't need to throw the football.
7:39 left.
They were trying to throw it to me. I was trying to get out there, you know. my blood flowing.
White back in, and it's a bad snap. Wow. So Lane falls on it, and that's a huge loss. And Dothan not taking advantage of that excellent field position.
No, they didn't. They squandered it, you know. They didn't have a good play call on 1st down. Hit a bad snap on second down. So here we are, third and, I don't know, what's that, 25 or 30? I mean, it's just not a good possession.
It's over. It's probably about 25.
Yeah.
Carver's going to bring the house this time. Nowhere for Barber to go. And Dothan has spun a good field position a couple of times tonight. So that was a 3 and out. And, you know, if they could have gotten the first down, they could have really taken some time off the clock. Now they've given Carver some opportunity. Still a lot of time left in this game.
I mean,
6.5 minutes.
Yeah, when you're up this big, you want to drain the clock.
And you want to keep your foot on the accelerator.
Well, it looks like they're going for it. I don't know. They might try to draw them off sides. Well, this is interesting.
I've seen people try to draw people off sides, but I've never seen them in the same play try to run their punting team on.
Good coverage. Great coverage.
That was. Oh, there's a flag now.
Wait, he didn't wait for a fair catch?
I don't believe so. There's 2 flags down.
He had a chance to catch the ball. He caught the ball.
You may have a block in the back, guys.
Yeah, because he did not waive a fair catch. We'll see what the call is. We're not going to try to guess. Face mask. How many face masks have we seen?
Way too many.
Dothan tonight. So they'll move the ball out. Well, out to the 16, about the 18-yard line. So timeout on the field with 6 minutes left in the fourth. The score, Dothan 37, Carver 20. First and 10, Carver at their own 18-yard line. I'll tell you, they're going to go to there right away. Watch. But Dothan's got to keep pressure on the quarterback, and they do. They get him out of the pocket, and they get him for the sack.
Nice play.
Who's that sack by? What number?
32.
Number 32 for Dothan. And that would be Jordan Bryant with the sack. That was a big play.
It was. They got through there quick.
And that's what you have to do with that guy, because if you give him time, you know, he'll eat you alive.
Absolutely.
That was a loss of 10. Ooh, they tried to throw a screen pass. It was incomplete. Go ahead, Gavin.
Yeah, because you already know what I'm about to say. They drew that up exactly how you want to draw it up. Again, it was a house blitz, and you call a screen pass. He could have been to my house if he would have caught that ball.
So it's a 3rd and 18. He rolls out. Incomplete, and we have a flag on the far side of the field.
I think it's going to be pass interference.
We're down to 5:18 left. Holding against Dothan.
It looks like number 4 just held him, so he wasn't able to curl in that curl route.
So it's still a 3rd down and 8. 3rd and 8. $5:18 left in the fourth. Dothan up 37-20. They're playing Carver of Montgomery. Carver came into this game 4-1. Dothan comes in 4-2. False start call against Carver that will back them up 5 more yards. So instead of being a 3rd and 8, it's going to make it a 3rd and 13. Short.
They got a face mask.
You see a flag over there?
Yeah, they threw it right at the end of the play.
Yeah, I saw him hit high. They've got to hit a little lower. They've had too many face masks calls tonight.
Well, earlier in the game, Mitt, they were doing a really good job of form tackling. And, one thing that we saw, in weeks past is they get to arm tackling, and that's what happens. They actually called a horse collar.
That's 15 yards, so that moves the ball out to the 40. This drive started on the 18-yard line of Carver. Williams is the quarterback. In the backfield with him is Cobb. Williams is sacked again.
Nice play. That's got to be Dothan's 5th or 6th sack this game.
That was number 29 on the sack. That's Don McLeod. That's our friend Don McLeod's son there. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, the defense is doing really good with getting pressure there, and you were talking about that was like the 5th or 6th sack, and the reason why, George, is because they're trying to go deep.
Yep.
And it takes time for these receivers to get down the field.
Right.
And you're waiting for these receivers to get down the field, and you're going to get sacked if you bring the pressure. So you got to keep the pressure up.
Well, if you just look every play, they're getting beat off the ball every single time by the D-line.
Incomplete, and it brings up a 3rd down. So we're down to 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So it's 3rd and 15. Carver's trying to decide what they want to do. What are you going to call it, George? You think they're going to go deep?
They might as well.
Hey,
what do they got to lose?
You're right. And Carver wants a timeout. So 4:12 left in the 4th. Dothan leads 37-20 over Carver. 3rd and 15. And a fumble to snap, and whoa, boy.
Nice to meet you.
What number was that?
I think it's number 5.
That was number 5.
No, number 3.
3, okay. Number 3 is T.J. Lewis, and boy, he flattened.
Oh, that was a lick right there.
Man, he put the hit.
What do they say?
On
Welcome.
Williams.
What do they
What's
say?
the flag
Welcome to
for?
Rip Hughes Stadium? Is that what they say?
Well, there's a flag at the 40, so what's going on with that?
I have no idea.
Wow.
Sideline warning, maybe?
I don't know.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, it's been, I think, let's hope that's what it is.
If it's on Carver, they've already had a sideline warning this game, and
Well, it's unsportsmanlike on Dothan, on both of them.
Oh, yeah, they're getting a little
we've seen a lot
frustrated
of
out there.
offsetting penalties tonight.
It's been real chippy down there.
Yes, it has. Fourth down. Is that Barber back deep? No, they don't want to kick it to him again.
I think it is.
They've actually done a really good job of kicking away from him.
Hey, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, really. the one time they tried to kick away and he still got it, he ran it back. So
he calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 35. So Dothan has held Carver scoreless here in the second half, and that's been one of the things that has concerned us about Dothan in some earlier games. They second half they seem to give up a lot of points, but tonight they haven't given up any.
No, the defense has been very stout. I mean, only let up 20 points. That all came in the first half, like you said, and so you got to take your cap off to them. We're about to see the backup quarterback come in, Bauer Sharp. So.
Sharp looked good last weekend. The game against Enterprise.
Yeah, I'm telling you, every time I've seen him come in, he's got a nice touch on the football. He's got a big arm.
Looking like Tim Tebow out there.
And he's strong too. And they give it to Webb. Oh, no, that's White. White's going to take it to the house, to the house, to the house. Touchdown, Dothan. 65 yards. Wow. 65 yards. Dothan started on their own, what was it, on the 35. Started on their own 35. And one play later, a 65-yard TD run by White.
I mean, that was just a great play. Credit the offensive line. They gave him a big hole, and once he hits that second level, he's gone.
How many yards, Cliff? White has 126 rushing tonight. So Dothan has 2 rushes with over 100 points, 100 yards rushing. They have 320 yards for the game. So Dothan has got in the 40s. I was a little concerned about them not getting up in the 40s.
They managed to do it, though.
Yeah. Wow.
Guys, he was fast. I'll tell you what, the ref down here, he just said, I ain't catching him. Nope, I'm going to sit this one out.
Extra point up and good. So Dothan goes up 44-20 over Carver, and with this victory tonight, and if Eufaula wins, they're leading in Park Crossing, Dothan will be in first place in the region. Dothan scores on the first play after the kickoff on a 65-yard run by White. I tell you, Dothan has a very explosive team. They can hit, and they can hit quick. And the return is out to the 25-yard line. So Carver will have the ball with 3:16 left in the fourth, starting at their own 25. Go ahead, Gavin.
Yeah, Mitt, I was just going to say, I think coming into this game, anyone and everyone would have said, Dothan can score, so you better play defense. But this game, I think what really stood out to me was what I talked about in the intro was the defense. They came to play, and here's the deal. Smitty Grider challenged that defense, and they've answered the bell.
The second half has been a whole lot different than the first half defensively. Good tackle that time. Number 11 for Dothan, he was able to stop. That was Jalen, 11, Zay Macon. Yeah, Zay Macon on the stop. No gain, 2nd and 10. We'll see if they go long. They've tried to go long, but Dothan has put so much heat on the quarterback, they've moved him out of the. That's number 24, and he picks up a first down.
He's a tough runner.
Yeah, he is. He's been the star of the show tonight. I wish we knew his name, but unfortunately we don't.
Mitt, how many yards has he got tonight?
You have to know how many yards 24 has, Cliff. 120. Not as many as White
or Webb.
Yeah, but that's one thing you got to think about. He's doing it all himself. Dothan High's got a couple of running backs they can hand the ball off to share that.
Yes. Yeah, Dothan can go pretty deep on running backs. They got 3, I know that can do some damage.
Yeah, and then if a running back doesn't get the job done, they can put a receiver back there and they will.
Yeah, and then the quarterback, Lane, he's fast. And, you know, we saw him break away a couple of times tonight. 2nd and 17. 24. Boy. No,
He's tough.
Boy, I tell you what, that kid is pretty amazing.
That's a good back right there.
He's what they call slippery.
Yeah, and fast. So it looked like Dothan was going to hit him after a short game, but boy, he wasn't having that. Down to 150 left. Quick out. And a good tackle that time. Clock keeps running. 1:37 left. Dothan up 44-20. They led 21-20 at halftime, but it's been all Dothan the second half. They put up 23 more points. 3 touchdowns and a safety. Boy, that guy is running.
Yeah. Don't tell him the score. He don't care.
No, he's adding to.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't given it to him anymore in this game. He kind of went away a little bit, hit a little bit. They were trying to get that ball down the field with the quarterback and kind of went away from the run game with 24.
1 minute left. Dothan still sending in personnel. 24. Boom. Man, how did he stay on his feet?
We're going to have a penalty
Yeah,
here.
Dothan was still trying to get substitutes in and out of the game, and the ball was snapped. Dothan should have just called timeout then. So it's a first down. 1st and 10 from the 25. Number 28 hesitates. Good block and a tackle there on the front side of the field.
That's ball game.
So Dothan wins at 44-20 after trailing 13-7, and then falling behind. What was the score? 20-14. So it was a big win for Dothan. That puts them on top in the region. That Dothan is 5-2, which is a great start. Now, first down, Carver had 20 first down. Dothan had 7. Passing downs, let's see, passing on first down, 5 for Carver, 3 for Dothan, okay. Let's see, total yards, Dothan had 375 to 220 for Carver. Passing 55, Dothan 48, Carver. Lane was 9 of 14. And the quarterback for Carver, who was Williams, he was, let's see, 8 for 22. Okay, and let's see, Cliff, where are our stats for our individual players? Okay, Jabri Barber had rushing yards, 10 yards. Lane had a total of 53 yards. Webb had 149 yards. White had 126 yards and 3 touchdowns. And receiving, Barber had 4 receptions, 33 yards. Webb had 2 for 25 yards. And Dawson, okay, that's it. Yeah. But anyway, and we have to talk about number 1 again, Jabri Barber with that 80-yard return for a touchdown. Dothan had 2 returns for touchdowns. Well, they had 1, but then they had a 65-yard run by Webb in the closing minutes of the game. So Dothan win it 44-20. In the closing comments, George and And Gavin?
Just tip your cap to the Dothan Wolves. They fought it out in the first half, gained the momentum. In the second half, they just ran away with it. So just a real good quality regional win.
How about you, Gavin? Anything?
Absolutely, really great win for the Dothan Wolves here. They've got a lot to work on, which is okay. You're here maybe in the middle of this season, so you got a lot to work on, and that's fine. And so you get back to the drawing board this next week. Come back out here the next weekend. And let's not see as many penalties as we saw tonight. And I see Dothan Wolves have a really, really good season ahead of them.
Okay, now I'm going to quickly recap the scoring. There was no score in the first, and it ended first. The score was 0-0. Carver scored first with 10:25 left in the second on an 18-yard TD run by number 24, whose name we don't have, and it made 7-0 Carver. Dothan scored with 8:25 left in the second on a 32-yard TD pass from Lane to White. I believe was it Webb, Lane to Webb, and that made it 7-7. Carver scored again on a 44-yard TD pass to Smith to make it, that was a 14-yard TD pass to Smith, make it 13-7 Carver, and that was with 4:12 left in the second. Dothan came right back and scored with 3 minutes left in the second on a 21-yard TD run by White to make it 14-13. Then Carver comes back on a 9-yard TD run by number 24 again to make it 20-14. Then Dothan had a 75-yard kickoff return for a TD. Well, actually it was an 80-yard kickoff return for a TD by Barber, and the extra point was good to make it 21-20. Third quarter, Dothan had a safety first, and that made it 23-20. Then Dothan scored again with 6:21 left on a 50-yard TD run by White to make it 30-20. Dothan scored and it was 30-20 at the end of 3. And in the fourth, a 61-yard TD run by Webb with 8:36 left in the fourth to make it 37-20. And Dothan scored again with 3:28 left in the fourth on a 65-yard run by White. So Dothan got a lot of production from a lot of different people. So that wraps it up tonight on behalf of my cameraman tonight and co-announcer George Willard and our sideline reporter Gavin Thomas and our statistician tonight Cliff Nyman. This is Mick Kirkland saying good night and thanks for watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.